All right, guys, welcome back to the Madcore Hunter podcast. It has been a while. There's been rumors going around. Some of them are true. Most of the rumors about Danny are true, not the ones about me. But we'll get to that later. We are alive and well, and give you guys an update on what's been happening. And gosh, we've been busy. It's been a while since we've done one, but time flies. But Danny, what have you been up to, man? We haven't talked a ton in this interim.
Yeah, it's definitely been a minute. When was the last one we did? Turkey season?
Yeah, I think it was early May or end of April.
When'd
So
you run your race?
that was April 18th. We did a couple after that, so late April, early May
So
was when we
May.
finished. Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely apologized a little bit over the break, but been trying to figure out where we wanted to go with this, and honestly, just not a lot to talk about. That's one thing we found out that there's a lot more conversations we can have when we're actually doing something in the outdoors.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to put something out there just to put it out there. We don't want to, bore you guys and a lot of our listeners, friends, family. We've grown a little bit of an audience, but we want to put quality over quantity out. So obviously in the fall and kind of winter, we have more things going on. I guess my race and such, but just want to put quality out there for you guys and make sure that we're respecting your time. So that's where I'm
Yeah,
at with
it's
it.
definitely good to be back on. I'm finally caught up a little bit with work, got another guy hired. So I basically worked, I guess it would have been 3 months almost. I had a little break in there, but it was short and sweet because I hadn't been home that's the worst thing. Been working all this extra and haven't been home. So the moments I get home, I just got a ton of crap to make up and get fixed. That's everything seems to break when I'm gone, all that stuff. So Um, it was pretty rough for me during that April, May, June timeframe.
Yeah.
We just got somebody hired here about 3 weeks ago, so I actually got to go home for a solid my 2 weeks off and worked a ton. That hitch too. So I'm ready for hunting season to get here because once that gets here, I kind of drop doing any of that stuff and go play.
Yeah. Yeah. And with my race and everything I had going on, I realized, some of the things I had neglected. So I got almost busier after all that this summer. We had some house projects and work has become more and this and that, but been, still training a lot, focus on getting prepped for hunting season. Made some decisions with that, but it's kind of where I've been. Um, I guess one thing I want to ask you, Danny, is what's your fall looking like? Kind of, what have you been prepping for, and what hunts did you decide to go on?
Really just kind of switching over right now. I know a lot of people prepare a lot more than I do, but I really get into it as the hunt starts, I guess, because I'll whitetail hunt quite a bit, but just have started getting a few items that I didn't have. Starting to hit the bike a little bit and walking and stuff. Trying to get more active going here during August for sure. Going to try to spend some time on the mountain when I go home here in a few days.
Okay.
Um, I haven't got to do a ton. I got the horses out a couple times, but it's just in the beginning of that. It's going to be an interesting year learning them and them learning me. And I will say one thing: they're fast, so
Yeah.
that is a plus. And I think they're so big; they have energy. Seems like for days. The worst part's actually trying to slow them down a little bit, but boy, by God, I'll be able to get to where I'm going quick and get out quick. So
Okay.
it'll be a change for me because my other horses were slow.
I remember that.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Just I ordered a few things here. Got a new sleeping bag on the way.
What'd you go with?
I hadn't really bought a like what I would say like a mountain sleeping bag just because a lot of times we're at camp. I didn't need it. So I went with just a big, heavy sleeping bag because I didn't have to worry about room and stuff. But I was kind of back and forth between Argali and Canis, I think is the
Yeah,
other name.
I've heard of Canis.
Um, I don't know. I read quite a bit. For a while, I mean, I don't think I have any issues going down. Just I just don't see the moisture there. If I went to Alaska, maybe would look into synthetic, but I don't know. I don't know how big a deal it really is unless you just completely dunk your bag. But
They have the downs treated too, so I mean, you'd have to get it pretty wet, I think, for that to make a difference.
yeah, I watched a couple of videos where a guy soaked different bags in a creek and then spent a night out in 25, 30 degrees. And he was pretty informative. I wish I could remember his name. It looked like he must have had a pretty good YouTube because he tested a lot of sleeping bags. But um, Argali, I really wanted to go with them. They're a pure down. It's not treated down. And I like the size of their bag. You could get a long bag, and it's supposed to fit up to like a 6, 7 person. And anyway, they were just under 3 pounds, nothing extremely light. But the one thing that I did not like on them is they only offer a white bag. And I'm like, man, I will trash that bag immediately. I just know how I am at a 10. I ain't gonna keep it clean. Like it's gonna be dirty. And that was probably the reason I ended up not going. I know it sounds stupid, but it was like I don't want to spend that kind of money on a bag that just trash, make it, have it stained and everything. So um I ended up going with that Canis. They're down, but they're treated down. They got that DWR treatment to them, and their bag had a little different features. They got like you can really be pretty mummied in it, or they got a little zip out on the side that allows it to expand
Okay.
wider. And on the back of them, you can slide your sleeping pad in there and it'll stay in place. They've got
Okay.
a
Kinda similar to like a quilt, like we kinda have that.
really.
Yeah,
Is
it's
that what
all
you
quilted.
have as a quilt?
It's what's that Zen Bibby, they call them beds. It's kind of a hybrid between,
Yeah.
I'd say it's more on the side of a quilt than a sleeping bag.
Yeah. I had bought a pad too. It's just, I don't pack in very much at all. I would like to maybe get a chance to go in a couple nights this year, but with the horses, it makes it difficult unless you plan to stay, like you guys do. But when you're making day trips out and your feed's at the trailer, that would be a little difficult. But um, and I got a couple, shelters that I want to use that I haven't really put to use yet. So, but yeah, just buying a few last minute parts, bought a few more arrows, and just looked at bows, all spring. But man, just stuff is getting so out of control, expensive.
It really
It's
is.
just, it's just rough. I don't know how younger guys. I mean, they're not going to be getting new stuff.
It's gonna hit a ceiling. It's gonna have to. Um, 'cause I put a value on it. It's important to me. Um, but golly, I mean, it's not worth me. What do they have? I mean, Hoyt-wise, are they on the RX-11 or something probably by now or 10, I've got to set, it's crazy. Yeah, I was talking, I think me and dad were talking. I was like, man, it's almost turning me off. Like in the archery community, like it's just so expensive and all these new greater things. It's like, man, guys have been killing big deer. Like you have sights now that are as much as new bows used to be, and not really that long ago. Like an Ultra View sight's like pushing $800. Same thing
Yeah,
with
Obendorf sent a little, internet link the other day for I think it's one of the sites I got a couple of black. I don't know if it was black gold. I can't remember what the site was, but he's like, "Yeah, the new ones are $600." And that was my comment back. I was like, I don't want to buy new stuff anymore. Like
I don't either. Yeah.
it
I
just
think maybe it's, if anybody new on here is listening, do not feel pressured to buy this new stuff because we're talking like if it's any better, it's by millimeters. you know,
That
it's
that
not.
is that is the truth. That was one thing I was getting ready to say was, I mean, you can buy a bow that's 10 years old and there's not a lot of difference between that bow and the new
Yeah,
ones.
I
I
kept
mean,
my
there is difference, but it is very minimal that happens every year.
yeah, and in fact, and this is something I want to talk about. Like I'm kind of reverting. What I've decided is to hunt in Indiana with either I have one of each. Actually, I have longbow, recurve,
Really?
traditional. Indiana only this year for whitetail. I'm going traditional. Now, when I go to Illinois and when I go out west, I'm taking my compound. I love shooting a compound. I'm not going like away from it or against it, but I want to get back or just experience that. I've killed some pretty good bucks. If one gets away out at 50 yards, that's fine. You might hear me cry about it a little bit, but I needed to, make that decision. Now, if I'm watching something huge on camera and it's only going to present a shot where it's going to be farther, then maybe I'll pick up the compound, but I'm not going to take both in the tree stand. Like I'm only going to take that, especially early season, do some practicing. But I did decide that. Actually, today I went out and the guy had a bunch of left-handed longbows and recurves and got fortunate enough to shoot a bunch and found what I really liked and what I didn't. Um, like my buddy said, try to put the name to the side, just go by feel, and ended up with some nice bows for nothing too crazy since they were used and a little bit older. I had like a Sage Samick, which is just what anybody can kind of buy at Bass Pro or something that was more for like bow fishing and jacking around. But these are, legit, uh, traditional recurve longbow. So
What
excited
is it?
about that. I really am.
What is the bow that you think you're going to be using?
So the recurve is it's actually Bob Lee's first, the wing. So like there's Bob Lee bows now, but like when he first started it was called the wing. So it's an older bow. It's probably like in the 70s. Um and it's a takedown, 45 pound, so it's a pretty bow. Had a nice quiver that was on it, I'd like to have a quiver regardless. And then the longbow is a JD Berry Renaissance, which I doubt anybody will know what that is. It's more like custom, and it was out of the two, it was the one that was worth a little bit more money. But I just went off feel. It's a higher poundage, like it'll really zip them out. But I'm excited about it. I am. I'll probably miss. I definitely don't want to wound anything, but I'll put the time in. I shot, almost 20 bows today. I'm freaking wore out actually, especially
Yeah.
two traditional bows. You're using muscles the whole time. There is no let off.
Yeah. Definitely, if you get an animal with one, it's amazing.
Yeah, I'm excited
So,
about it, and then, uh, yeah, and I was teasing Rob. I'm like, Rob, I was gonna let you kill a bigger buck than me this year, but how bad is it gonna be if I kill a bigger one than you with a traditional bow? So
that's funny.
gotta gotta give him a hard time. But no, that's what's exciting for me, and I did that today. So not that's we just happened to be getting on the podcast, but that's what's new with me. I've committed to that and committed to a mustache too, man.
Yeah, I seen that as we got on. That was definitely new.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people I go out in public, if I don't have a hat on because I've let my hair grow out, they just automatically say Magnum PI. I don't know where that's come from, but um, I've
Surprised
accepted
you
it.
even, know that reference, to be honest. But
Hey, I'm an old soul. I had to actually when I somebody did bring that up, I had to look it up.
did you really?
Yeah, it's like
Oh, that's
80s,
funny.
man.
Yeah. I You were talking about bows. I happened to go in a store that sold some archery stuff yesterday, and I walked back there and wasn't even looking at the bows, but one caught my eye, and I was looking at it, and I was telling Jordan up here, I was like, they had a PSE for sale, and that I don't know that it was newer than 1990. Like, it was really old school PSE, and they had it for $99.99. And I was just like, I don't know how many of those bows that we probably either threw away or gave away, 5 or 6 times basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that was an old bow. I hadn't seen one of those in a long time.
but you'll
I
probably
didn't
buy it.
I didn't catch what the name brand of it was or what type of PSC it was. I just recognized it from back in the 90s for sure.
Yeah. No,
But
it's exciting for me. I even thought about not running cameras, but like we have so much invested in cameras. It's hard for me not to do that. I'm not gonna it's a scouting weapon I'm gonna use. I think
yeah,
someday they'll probably try to outlaw them, but got all my cameras together and got to get those online. I try to get them out July, August. I know some guys run them all year round, but that's expensive and sometimes you just need a break. Um, so I'm gonna get
Rob been getting some pretty good pictures.
yeah, he's been running cameras. Dad went over there and they did a lot, man. I wasn't able to make it over, but shout out to those guys. They did a lot of hard work and Rob, kind of got another farm. So he has 3 farms over there this year and food plots look great, a lot of stands. So I really want to focus on, trying to get over there a little bit earlier this year. Just follow us for the camaraderie, and it's really neat over there. So looking forward to that. I don't know if I probably won't hunt Kentucky unless I've somehow filled Indiana and Illinois tag. Um, I don't know. I may change my mind because Kentucky's so close, but I do want to focus because we picked up another lease, like you said. I mean, we might have already talked about that, but we've put a lot of work in there, and my brother brought his skid steer in, and got a lot of paths opened, and getting ready to do food plots. So, um, get ready to get into some food plots and honing in on it, man. I have one more triathlon that I'm doing this coming weekend, and then after that, I'm going to switch my training over to preparing for the mountains, getting a little bit of weight, some rucking, and making sure I'm shooting every night or evening possible. I've been shooting like I should be. This is probably the latest I've shot in a summer in a long time. Just been so busy. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
I haven't. I really got to start because I haven't shot
Yeah,
hardly
it's
at all this year.
unlike me because we're gonna leave a little bit earlier this year. We're gonna leave like the 1st of September. We've always hunted kind of the last week and a half of season. I want to get out there a little bit earlier. I think some people
What's
pushed them
making that
around last
decision?
year. Um, I think some people got in there before us and pushed them around, and a little bit of weather. It was like we talked about. It snowed on us every time, and I don't, I wasn't. The cold didn't bother me or anything, but I don't know. I think try to catch them in that pre-rut action. I think some of them had already had their cows and trying to beat some people out there. That the combination of those 2.
Yeah, I'll be hunting. I'll be hunting the earliest I've hunted in a handful of years because I've usually just the way I did work schedule for being the 2 on 2 off. It's hard to make everything work, and I've been to hit November, first part, and I haven't even been early in November. I've kind of had the same schedule, so I always end up hunting like towards the end of September. And this year, I should be hunting by the 3rd of September.
Well, Utah's weird too, man. It goes out like September 18th. So I think we're going to
Yeah,
come off the mountain and it's a Wednesday. So the way it all works out, like we're only going to come off the mountain like 4 to 5 days before season ends.
yeah.
I think we'll get a
The
little bit
18th
more
is a Friday. I'm
Friday.
looking at calendar. Yeah,
So whatever time it goes out, it's a Wednesday. So it might be,
the 16th.
yeah, I think it's just the 16th. I could look that up.
It'd be the 16th or the 23rd. Those are your 2 Wednesdays there.
I think it's the
Um,
16th.
yeah, I'm. I didn't really. Wyoming sucked as far as drawing tags. Nothing at all. And we applied for quite a bit of stuff. That was quite the disappointment. just hoping. I've been hoping for a long time. I just would like to draw a special unit for elk, and I just have been unable. I haven't drew one since I'm approaching 20 years, I think, very close to 20 years since I drew something other than general for elk. I mean, there's lesser areas you guy could put in for, but I'm trying for one of those special units, and we don't get points as residents, which is fine, but just haven't been lucky enough to draw. So that kind of sucked, and really don't have much of anything. In Wyoming, for the first time since I lived there, I will not have an antelope tag, doe or buck, and that one's pretty hard to take. That was one of the worst things about this draw was never spent, haven't spent a long time on antelope over the last several years, but always enjoyed at least shooting one and getting to hunt them a couple days and everything. And they don't have a general tag for antelope, so you have to draw. And I could have probably got some leftovers, but it was 2.5 hours from my house, and it was private land only, and didn't have anything guaranteed. So I decided not to. So it'll be the first year that I don't get to hunt them, but I did get a pretty special tag in North Dakota as a non-resident. I haven't told a ton of people yet. I drew a gun tag in North Dakota, and
For whitetail, mule deer, or elk?
for whitetail and or mule deer.
Okay.
The unit I'm in, it'll probably be whitetail.
Okay.
I'd hoped to hunt mule deer with that gun tag, but the area that I'd been applying for like 8 years, I found out that, I don't know, it wasn't that way when I first started putting in, but I quit looking at the odds and everything, just kept putting in and getting point each year. And I think 2 years ago, I realized after looking at some odds, because it looks like there's 3 tags for non-residents or so. And I got to looking at that. Well, they all go landowners, non-resident landowners. So there was absolutely 0% chance, and the state still allows you to apply for an area that you can't draw. So that one I didn't like. I did change it this year and put in for some areas that I bow hunt whitetail because there's a little better odds. And honestly, like, they reduced, I can't believe I drew this year because they reduced deer tags by like 32 or 3,500 deer tags across the state. I mean, North Dakota is weird with a gun. As a resident, I mean, it could take you 5-6 years to draw a gun tag as a resident
Wow.
for deer. So
What's the season?
it's right during the rut. I think it comes in November 6th or so and runs for a couple weeks this
Okay.
year. Like it's actually going to be, I don't know if I'll be there for opener. Most time I would hit an opener and
How are you
recommend.
going to correlate that with Illinois? Which one are you going to prioritize more? Probably this gun tag?
I'm going to Illinois. I'm going to actually, because I get I always say 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. We basically work 16, like it amounts to about 12 days that I'm off with the travel and stuff. So, I have a guy, my relief is going to work an extra week possibly for me if I need it. So I'm trying to look at that on the calendar here. Let me look at dates because October, that comes in, or not October, comes in the 6th. So my plan is I'd like to be hunting by the 9th. I don't think I'm going to worry about hitting the opening weekend. North Dakota people, man, they don't get out much. Like, they drive the roads up and down. It's odd. And I know the area that I'm hunting doesn't get it gets gun hunted, but I was archery hunting that area during gun season last year and never saw, I think maybe, 20 miles from where I hunt, I think I saw one truck where a guy was actually out in the woods hunting.
You
All
gonna
the
run
rest
cameras, and are you trying to get you a
can't
big
run.
one or just enjoy the gun
So
tag?
all the stuff I'm hunting is public, and the type of public it is doesn't allow cameras. You can, technically they do, but you can't leave them overnight. So
Okay.
it's a weird thing. You can't can't leave sands or anything like that. So you got to pack in and pack out each day. A lot of deer don't get hunted very hard, but I'm very excited to hunt it with a gun. Like I'm going to be holding out for a pretty special deer there,
Good.
you know.
Awesome.
And this is probably the first time I've ever gun hunted about anything with purpose. I mean, I've gun hunted a little bit elk and had time spent there, but definitely first time for whitetail where I would possibly take off of work to go hunt whitetail with a gun. That's the kind of
Yeah.
tag it is. But the cool thing is I'm still able to get, I'll have 2 tags in North Dakota this year because I'm able to get my archery whitetail also. So
Man, so you'll have
for a area that's very hard to get tags, like it's pretty amazing that I got 2 this year. But I think this was year 10, and still that I didn't think there was any chance I'd draw a gun tag. So that's
you
pretty
could go
special.
for $4, man. 2 in North Dakota, 1 in Illinois, 1 in Indiana. You could have a heck of a season.
Yeah, I mean I don't think I'll get time for Indiana, but Illinois, so from what I've seen, is looking pretty good. Looks like maybe deer have kind of came back a little bit from the EHD we experienced 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Got some good deer on the one farm I hunt. And Obendorf, of course, has been busy with plots. He's everything. They've had rain this year, so everything he's done's looked really good.
Yeah.
So as long
Rob
as rain,
been, because of the rain, his look great.
Yeah, everything I've seen from him, it's been his best year since he bought the places on crops and everything. So hopefully, as long as he's got a few of them, he's gonna leave a little bit more this year, and got a few of them he's gonna plant for fall. But hopefully, they get moisture here over the next month or so, and what he does plant in the fall will turn out well. I don't know that I normally go here in the next few weeks there, but they got a child on the way and it's supposed to happen anytime. So, and with my schedule just the way it's been this year, I don't know that we're gonna do that trip. We don't have because we're leaving a lot of stuff. So honestly, we don't have a lot to do. I'm sure he always finds something to work on, but he's a busy bee with it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We've got 2 plots that clover came back so abundant that I think we may leave it and just, you're supposed to mow it. And then if weeds start getting in, there's some stuff you can spray. But I told them, like, man, it looks great. Some guys, they just swear by clover plots. So we may leave that. We've got plenty to do too, because we picked up that other property and there's as much as you would want to plant there. So we'll be just as busy. That might help us not be busier, but we'll see. I'm excited, but also, I'll admit, my passion's hunting, but I love the triathlon / Ironman training, man. And just, Shelby did her first triathlon. Shout out to her. She did great up in Indianapolis. And we had a really good time, man. Like, it's something I can do with my wife. Not say we couldn't hunt together. She's never shown too much interest, but she wanted to do triathlons all on her own, and she's fallen in love with it. So I think it's been really neat. It's good for the family. Kind of proud of, like, when Hudson sees a bike, he'll go dad. I don't think that's a bad thing. So that's taken up some of my time too, and it's healthy, and work gets to be a lot, but
yeah, that's pretty cool to hear. I've actually got on a bike. I hardly ever biked since I was a kid, and I had bought a mountain bike a few years ago, and I've been on it here last week. So
it's low impact. Like, it's really good exercise, and it's not hard on your joints. Like, if you go start running and you haven't ran in 10 years or whatever, it's gonna hurt.
Yeah,
bikes better.
Yeah, it's doing pretty well. I need to increase my mileage that I'm doing on it, but
yeah,
I've had that for a few years and rode it a few times. Just never got it to just where I did it all the time. I'd like to keep at it and do it a little more often. Did have a buddy of mine, Nick Weiser. He just ran a did one of those 50 milers in the mountains.
Okay. How did that go?
Sound like it went pretty well. He he has fallen in love. It seems like with running. He seems like he does 10 or 12 miles a day. A lot of times, it kicked his butt. That was the first one that he had attempted. But he got done in the time frame that they allow for it and everything, and he's already got more lined up. So that was pretty interesting to hear him talk about it. Maybe sometime we'll have him on and tell that story. But I think he's already signed up for the one in the Bighorns for next year. I don't know. I
Yeah.
can't. He told me where he did this one, and I can't remember exactly if it was. I don't. I just don't know which state for sure.
Yeah, there's a bunch. The ultra running has really blown up, and I I'll probably get into it someday. The Ironman is in a sense ultra as well. It's just once you get a bike and we live close to a Y, it's like I want to take advantage of having all that right now. Running is great because really it doesn't cost a lot. It just costs you time, and if you get some running shoes, Ironman's kind of an investment with the pool and the bike. You can spend $15,000 on a bike if you want. So, um, really kind of want to see where that goes. I'm really dabbling. I hate to say it on here, but I've been praying about it. And Ironman 70.3, the World Championship, is coming to Chattanooga next year. So I think it'd be really cool to qualify for that because you have to qualify, kind of like the Boston Marathon. You know,
Oh, really?
obviously, winning it wouldn't really be a thing, but to qualify would be, an honor and something really neat. Usually, it's over in like France or pretty far away where you'd have to fly and just all the logistical and financial hurdles with that. But Chattanooga, I mean, heck, we have a job site in Chattanooga right now. It's not really. Uh, I kind of
What do you
help
have
out
to
with it a
do to
little bit.
qualify?
You have to do a race, and you pretty much have to finish. There's certain slots that they give out per race. You have to finish probably top 5 in your age group to for sure get one. There's also roll downs and other ways to do it, but um, you have to be really fast for that race.
Yeah.
Which might, they break it up into age groups. So um, it would take a lot of training, not probably as much time as a full Ironman, but it would take a very dedicated like training regimen to do that. So I don't know. We'll see. I've tabled it. It's a little bit more than a year out, and I'm trying to take this time. The fall is busy with hunting, so take this time, spend time with family. And I'm still training, but I have plenty of time to train for it if I want to.
Yeah. That's pretty interesting. It's funny is like I have no interest in running, but we talk about it on here, and then like I just mentioned my buddy Nick, I want to hear his story about it, and talk to him, and then I listened to another dude, Jake Downs podcast, and he's a recurve hunter, and he just did his first 100 mile. Like he didn't even do a 50, he did 100 mile, and it was pretty interesting to listen to his podcast about that, you know, and those guys get done and listen to him. It sounds like it's like I don't need to do that. Kind of does it just to be in shape for the year for hunting and stuff. And then he said by a week after he's already like, yeah, I'll do another one.
Yeah,
Ready to, yeah,
it gets addicting.
yeah.
It does, man. Um, but yeah, I don't know of anything else like too new. Me kind of making that decision with traditional hunting wise is going to be big. Still hunting, let's just say 3 states. Going to focus more on 2. We're going to Utah again. I haven't done anything too crazy with gear. I was looking up something. I'm just going to try some new food actually for like backcountry. Have you heard of like Pinnacle? Um,
I don't think I
Instead
recognize
of like
that.
Mountain House or Peak, Heather's Choice and Pinnacle are kind of up there, but I'm going to try some Pinnacle, some of their stuff. Try to I got into tracking my food. Like your fats, your carbohydrates, and proteins. Like measuring food out and meal prepping, and kind of gets addicting, and it makes you really realize that how you feel depends a lot on what you're eating. So um, gonna try to take that into the back country a little bit and ensure eating a little bit better than the mountain houses, man. They're some of them are good, but they're got high sodium and
Yeah.
they can plug you up too. You
I
gotta,
always laugh because Zach is like, we'll talk about elk camp, and I mean, we're at the road, and the way the way we've always done it is we freeze meals and
yeah,
reheat them when we're there and stuff. And Zach's like, oh, he can just do mountain house. I was like, I'm not eating that stuff for a week if I don't have to.
no, that you don't have to.
Like it's fine. I've ate them plenty, and they work, but they'll stuff you up pretty good eating those
Yeah,
things constantly.
yeah,
But I don't mind them at all. I mean, I can eat them. Like there's no issue with that, but I choose to not if I have a choice. So,
yeah.
but no, I haven't really changed much. What sleeping bag? I almost texted you when I was looking at sleeping bags. What one do you have?
Zen Bibby.
Okay, you did say that.
Yep, Zen Bibby. It's the ultralight. I went with the I went with the down. I went
What
with
did
the um there's two different downs that they offer. I went with the Muscovy down. It had the same rating and supposed to be a touch more durable, but Muscovy is a duck, not a goose. Certain type of duck. Yeah, and it's treated. I want to say it's 900 rating. Yeah, they rate your down in different. Like mine's 900.
I want to say the one I just got was 850, so that's probably about right then.
Yeah, I think nine's about as high as it
What
goes.
degree bag do you have?
I turned mine in. We did have 25 and now I have 15 because we about froze last year. Because that's your survival rating. And it was getting
That's
about 25 to 20 every night. So
it was one of the reasons I wanted to get Argali because their rating is like comfort level. And they offer a 20-degree bag and a 0-degree bag. They're one of the only companies that do that at a comfort level, but their bag is puffier because of all the down and stuff in it.
yeah,
But that one I bought's a 15-degree bag. I mean, it'll work for anything I
that's what
do
I have.
here.
Yeah. Well, you don't, especially with where you're going, uh, you might get hot.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
so
Yeah, we'll see. I bought that. That's more future, honestly.
yeah.
But I hadn't got one, and I was uh thinking about maybe trying to mess around a little bit, even if I don't do it while I'm hunting. Maybe hunt a little bit on my own and do a little few nights in.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of
I
any.
miss that sometimes.
I enjoy that part that we do. Trying to think of anything else I upgraded. Um,
I couldn't
Really not.
find the RIP TKOs. I was trying to buy another dozen. I couldn't find them in my size.
Really?
Um, yeah, online or anything. So I ended up buying those HLRs. There's only from those 250s. There's only like I think it was an ounce or two difference
It's not
in
a
that
lot.
era.
Somehow
It
one
wasn't.
got
It was 1 or 2 ounces. I looked up on their site trying to find it out because I was like, man, what am I gonna do? Because I wanted to buy those TKOs, and when I seen those HRs wasn't much different at all. I was like, yeah, that'll be
yeah.
fine. I
Yep.
ain't gonna notice it
No.
too
No,
much at all.
they're both good. I can pick up either one, and if you're under 50 yards, you ain't gonna see much of a difference.
Yeah. No, I
But
am excited for archery. I don't know if I'd mentioned that. I think you probably know, but Zach drew Wyoming general tag this year and had 1 point, which
I know.
shouldn't
Yep.
be able to at all. But I told him, I was like, if you got the money, I mean, there's always a chance in Wyoming. And he, Zach, with his luck, he drew that tag. So I want to work hard to try to get him an opportunity to bull, with a
Yep.
bow. And I'm going to really try to hold out this year and not shoot anything less than 6 points. So it's
Good.
definitely my goal on elk. But I'm going to actually try to spend a good 10 days elk hunting this year,
Yeah.
unless we just killed early. But even then, bear and mule deer tag and stuff. So
Yeah, you got a busy fall. Mine's as busy as I can find time for. So we should have, some podcasts, but I think some people have asked, and we've been trying to get together on this, and just with your work schedule and my busy schedule, felt we owed everybody an explanation. We're gonna continue doing the podcast, but it's going to be more or less not on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. More on, hey, we had this come up, or we feel that we want to come on here and discuss this, because we want to be putting out quality info. And even with this podcast, we're just gonna. This is us catching up, kind of talking about what's coming up in the future. But another thing that I want to tell everybody on here is I deleted social media. I know I talked about in the past just deleting the app. This time I'm completely off all social media. I don't have anything. So if you send me a message or anything and I don't respond, it's not because I don't like you. I don't have it anymore. I felt like there were more cons to it than pros. You may see me get it back one day. It would also be a new account or for a business or if anything like that. But I don't know. The older I get, the more I have to really narrow down what's important. And that wasn't, it shouldn't be that important to me for what I was getting out of it. So I wanted to say that. And, but, I do like the podcasting. I like coming on here and discussing. If you kill a big buck or I kill a big buck, I want that story. I don't care if nobody else listens to it. One day my son might want to listen to it, or we might want to look back, or when I'm 60, hear that story again. Like, look how dumb I sounded when I was, 30 or whatever. So that's where I'm at with it. And if you want to speak on it, Danny, I'll let you kind of take a turn.
Yeah, we definitely took some time talking about it. I mean, we both enjoy doing it, but it is time consuming. It's hard to make it work. We don't live next to each other and we don't get paid for it. So it's hard to prioritize it sometimes because it is something basically we're doing for fun. It's really fun to talk to each other and record it when we're hunting and fishing and got stuff going on. But when it's just a grind of life and work and workouts, for you and young family and everything. And it's like every time I get home, all I got to do is work. It just, trying to put that in so that when I'm gone for hunting season, it's not an issue. Pretty much get after it most days there at home just to get done with stuff this time of year. And I don't know if I know you asked me a while back about smoke. It's been miserable hot summer. Like it's been 100 degrees in Wyoming for the last 2, 3, 4 weeks. It's been that way up here in North Dakota. I told you then we didn't have smoke. Today you can't see, quarter-mile visibility because of the smoke. It's bad today here in
July
Williston,
has
North Dakota.
sucked, man. I didn't have to take an allergy pill until July, and then it's been hot and humid. Like, I don't know what it is. July used to be kind of just hot and dry. Like, okay, it's summer. This July is just, I ain't gonna complain. I like the seasons, but it's definitely been different. It's not been the most enjoyable.
Yeah, I know that my full week that I had at home, the first time I've been home, and I've got a list a mile long to do stuff, and I'm outside working. It's 100 degrees for 6, 7 days straight. And in Wyoming, I don't know. No, a lot of people don't agree. And I think it's from growing up in Indiana. I prefer when it's hot, I would rather be in Indiana over Wyoming. I know that dry. I prefer the humidity because I sweat normally. So I feel like I cool better because of sweating. In Wyoming, it's just, you don't sweat. Like it takes effort, I moved 6 ton of gravel by hand the other day, and it's 103, 104 out, and I'm barely sweating. Like, cutting brush in Illinois, but in August I look like my clothes are as wet as I jumped in a pond, you know, but I feel better at the end of the day. I don't know how to describe it. It's just the dry heat. It's like I don't regulate the way that I grew up regulating.
Yeah.
But not everybody agrees with that for sure, because humidity can be hard if you ain't used to it. But I
I haven't
prefer
been
to
out there
sweat
in the
and cool
summer,
down.
so I really can't compare it, but I believe you.
Yeah, it was pretty rough at last time I was home. It was just, I'd get up and work from daylight until noon or so if I could make it, and then go get parts during the middle of the day, and probably wait till 4 or 5 o'clock, which was already pretty hot at that time. Honestly, it was in the last couple hours that it would cool down much at all. But in North Dakota, ain't been any better. It's been upper 90s the last couple days, but finally, I've got some time to hit the lake. Definitely filled the freezer the last few days with some walleye, so that's been pretty cool.
Love
Yeah,
that, man.
yeah, got out a few evenings here, so it's the lake's lower than it's ever been, but the walleye are just like everybody's catching. They've just been biting like crazy the last month. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm making that like I made a purpose to go catch a bunch of walleye this weekend, because it's like
Yeah.
I go home on Wednesday and I got a little bit of work left to do, and my focus is shifting to hunting for sure, and prep,
Yep.
and just getting ready, shooting and everything. So
Yep. That's where I'm at too. As soon as this triathlon's done this weekend, I'm really shifting.
yeah, um,
But
yeah, I haven't. I think I'm pretty excited about elk season this year. I don't have a special tag or anything, but it's just I got the time,
yeah.
and we'll be down there at the same time as Zach, so it'll be nice to get to hunt with him, and Dad's going to be out, so the three of us will be down there.
I'm really hoping we can maybe draw it next year. I think we'll have 3 or 4 points and then put in maybe that special draw. Maybe we'll get lucky. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Zach didn't even put in the extra money. He drew on the random with a
I
regular.
know. So maybe
So
people weren't putting in for it as much, due to it takes so long. I don't know, but we'll see. I'd love to get back out there and hunt with you guys. That's what's fun.
yeah, for sure, and definitely would be a good time, and uh, just want to try some new areas too. I don't know when I'm gonna get to do that, but I just I want to do that. But this year with Zach drawing that tag, I thought this year I was gonna go hunt somewhere different, and with Zach drawing the tag, we're hard to leave elk to go find elk.
Yeah. Yeah, we've
It just
always said
really
that.
is.
Yeah, we've always said that, man.
Yeah, I got to figure out which gun I'm going to use for deer up here. I ain't figured that out yet. I want to use one I haven't killed with yet, so
What are your options?
I got a lot of options, but I don't
What
know.
are
I
you
think
allowed? Anything, I guess? Any rifle?
I think it's about the same as Indiana. I think up here, I think it's pretty much anything. I don't know how low they go. Probably anything above that 223 mark, but I'm not 100% on that. I'd have to look up the regs.
Yeah.
I mean, I got 6.5 Creedmoor and stuff that would work great, but I got a 6.5 PRC that I haven't used that I think is probably the way I'm leaning. It's a little
Yeah.
hotter.
That'd be
So,
nice. Yeah.
yeah, I got I got a couple more cans, so definitely wanting to try a few other guns I got.
Will you spot and stock or will you tree stand or
I
kinda?
don't think I'll tree stand hunt during gun season. This particular unit, dude, I've always thought if I had a gun, I could kill a giant, because it's one of those areas that I've walked, like stalk hunted through multiple times with a bow, and multiple times I've jump a deer where he gets up, and stands there and stares at you at 100 yards,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like, dude, I always, because I put in for a muzzleloader in North Dakota, and I've waited. That one's, um, I think I can't remember if it's any deer or just whitetail, but I always thought I would hunt that unit with a muzzleloader is what I figured I'd get to. So, if I found a mule deer anywhere, but this is far north in North Dakota, so there's some mule deer there, but it's not the mule deer country per se as much as farther south is in this area that I'm working in. So the units I'd always put in hope and hunt mule deer were down south, closer to the interstate. So, but there I see a few mule deer over there, but mostly in the woods. It's all whitetail in the area that we're at. You got out in the prairie, you see a few, but I've never seen like a giant mule deer over there, and
Mm-hmm.
I've seen deer pushing the 180 mark in that area. So,
Gosh.
like gun wise, I kind of said it to Zach, like, I mean, until the last day or so, I'm really looking to break that 150 for sure on that gun tag. This is the goal.
I think that's important. I have to decide what I'm gonna do with the traditional bow, because like I'm need to really keep in mind that this is traditional, but
Yeah,
also I really don't want to shoot like a doinker either. You know what I mean? Like a little 4 point, but I don't know. I guess I'll just have to think and pray on that one. Last year would have been great. I had felt like a mature buck come like just 10 yards broadside. He was I think a heavy 8, would have been a great recurve buck. Like would have been a great buck regardless.
yeah.
But
Honestly, this year would be the perfect time for me to hunt whitetail with a recurve in North Dakota because of having that gun tag. But I doubt I'll do it just time wise.
you got the
But
Black Widow, man. Break it
yeah,
out. Let's go trad.
if if we hadn't had the die off, I'd have probably been pretty deep into um, recurve hunting up here because I had spots where I tried the year I killed my biggest buck here. I killed it with compound, but that was when I was carrying both bows. That was the opening night. I had that big buck standing under me with a recurve in my hand, but it was too dark. It was past legal. Um, and the night he came out, I had both bows, but he was at 65. So it was a poke. But that's the biggest thing. They'll help you not carrying the compound with you also. And, just limit to a good shot. Recurve wasn't too hard for me not to take the shot, though. I think I wanted anything under 30. I felt pretty confident at 30 with those things, with it.
Yeah, I don't want to listen to that. What's that one country song? I can shoot a
100
buffalo or something,
yards.
100 yards with my
Tim
Cherokee bow.
McGraw.
Yeah, Tim
Yeah.
McGraw. Don't want to listen to
Yeah.
that part going in the woods. I'll be out there like Fred Bear.
Winging it. No. Yeah.
Uh,
I will tell you, like, you'll blow up if you shoot one with it. Even a doe or something, man. Like,
yeah, I want to do it. I got plenty of time.
yeah. I've shot at a few whitetail. I haven't killed whitetail with it yet.
You just killed the spike elk, right?
Yeah. I shot an elk and missed a bear. That was the very first animal I got shot at, and it was horrible because it was the perfect opportunity, and I just
Bear too.
just jacked up, man. Just jacked it up. Shot under that bear, standing in a water hole at like 15 yards. A shot that I could make all the time with that bow, and I was sick because the compound was hanging, and it was like a 300-pound Wyoming black bear. Did miss the elk. That elk, that arrow blew through and was buried in a log, and saw the elk die before it got out of sight. So,
What broadhead you use with the traditional bow?
I was shooting a stinger,
Stinger. That's pretty
2-blade stinger. I like that broadhead out of the recurve for sure.
My buddies, he might switch to 3-blade, but
Really,
yeah,
it would be a good year. I just don't think I'll be making that choice one of these days. But like back when I hunted here, it was before EHD hit it, and there was so many deer, dude, that
Yeah.
Like it would have been perfect, and the numbers are coming back, but it's been a very slow process. So here another couple of years, I think I may try to do it again. But
I wish we'd have came up during that kind of golden era of you guys doing it.
yeah,
I didn't have the vacation. I couldn't pick that over elk hunting.
yeah, yeah, because
Excuse me.
it's fun, but it's changed, and they basically eliminated any non-residents from hunting a velvet deer now because they changed that rules, unless you're hunting on private, of course. So,
Yeah.
but no, starting to get excited. Definitely ready. I'm pretty much there making that switch. I just made some purchases for hunting over the last week, so definitely on my brain right now.
What else did you buy besides the tent? Because I made some small upgrades. Like I got a new backcountry lighter and certain things, but man, dude, I've got so much stuff like clothing wise and this and that. And like, I just hate to say it, like I didn't really need anything else.
Yeah, I'm pretty much mine was minute stuff that I don't absolutely need, but at times was the bag, the pad. Like I said, I got some more arrows. Nothing too crazy. I'm trying out some the Kuyu undies.
Okay.
They're wool. I mean, like that one that I'd recommended before, woolly, but they wear out, man.
I've had good luck out of the Ridge so far. You should have tried them.
Ridge.
Mm-hmm.
All
Ridge
of them are
brand.
expensive doing
No, these
freaking
aren't
wool,
cheap.
but
Yeah.
they definitely are very comfortable, man. Way better than going and buy Fruit Loom. I know Fruit Loom are cheap, but these feel so much better.
Yeah. What else, man?
I think that's about it. Hopefully we can have a little more stories, to be able to tell here coming up before too long. I'm sure it'll be a little bit before we have a podcast, but it's August.
What's going to be here
I
fast?
I mean, I should be hunting elk in 31 days. So
Yep. I'm not too far behind you. Yeah, it's crazy. Yep. Well, stay tuned, everybody. Hopefully, we have some elk stories. Appreciate you guys listening. And I would
yeah,
say
maybe
the next one will be about an elk story, or maybe we'll do a prep episode. Just talking about everything we're taking. We kind of did that last year, just gear, and takes a long time to get through all of our gear. It seems like, but
yeah, that might
um,
be good to do one right before we leave.
yeah. So, all right. Well, right on, man. Thanks, everyone.
Later.